Hello, hello! Welcome into the LCS Challengers League presented by Subway. I'm Mad Magical, and I'm joined in by Cubby today. And I guess you guys weren't all expecting it. I wasn't expecting it, but you couldn't get rid of me that easily, could you, Cubby?
No, of course not, Mad Magical. You were always the super sub that we had, show up in life-saving situations, and it's good to have a new year and another, iteration of Mad Magical saving the day coming into the broadcast. So excited to have you, and welcome to Challengers League for the first time, man. It's really good to have you back, and excited to cast with you today.
I'm excited to cast with you, Cubby. We've already done some stuff in 2024, you and I. That's for everyone else to find out later on. That's a little teaser of what he and I have planned and what we have cooking. But what we have today here on the broadcast is really what we got to dive into because, like I said, I'm excited to be back. I always love challenges. You guys all know this. So the fact that I get a cast here with you, Cubby, is a treat. And I think it's only appropriate that we start off by looking at the standings for today. See how the league has shaken up so far. And I think going from last year to this year, if you didn't know how the team shook up, how things changed around, you'd see Maryville at the top, and you would be very surprised. But the rest of us would not be, because we've seen how dominant they have been so far here in the Challengers League so far, Cubby.
I mean, I think it's a wild story, honestly, coming out, because Maryville, this is a team where they swapped their roster about a week before the split started. And same with Mirage Alliance. And guess what? That's our first and 10th place team right now, which it really shows you, the disparity. Like, I think that this has been a very competitive league so far. But for Maryville, I mean, once they announced that roster with UG, Spyrax, and Niles, these are three players that have seen success in the ecosystem. A couple of these players, I feel like, should have had their opportunity to higher level, or had their opportunity to higher level at some point. But they've been showing up, performing, and Maryville versus FlyQuest, that is next week, and we'll see if FlyQuest can stay undefeated going into that matchup today.
First, they have to make sure they win today. That is always important. They face off against LiT Esports, a team that didn't actually make many roster changes. Actually, none at all, as they promoted in the offseason, in the preseason, getting here to 2024. And I think been a kind of a surprise team for some, looking at how they have been, especially because I love some of the stories that we have with this team, right? Dragoon is always exciting. Rockboom is another player that I've been looking at for ages now, but they're facing off against FlyC, the team that was kind of going into this year as like a super team.
Yeah, and I gotta say, I think that FlyC has somewhat delivered as, I had a lot of fun yesterday. I was a part of the FlyQuest show match with host Papa Smithy, Captain Flowers, Basil. I
saw the Rap God segment where he actually went to a beat too. That was really good.
Yeah. Oh no. I mean, Flowers is whenever you get a chance to work with Flowers, it feels like you're doing something right. He's a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun with that yesterday. And hey, some of these guys showed up in the show match. Excited to see if they can keep on showing out today. If they have been fantastic. This is a team where a lot of the members were supposed to be a part of that LCS EG squad if they were going to go through. And they feel like an LCS level team in this league. They've been dominant. I think them and Maryville have been a notch above the rest of the competition. And excited to see if they can continue that today against LiT.
Same here. I inserted Jaden are both players that we've seen lots of. But like I said before, LiT Esports, this team that actually stuck together going from the offseason. One of the few that did, which was kind of surprising because we did see, you talked about Mirage Alliance being a team that qualified, having been not really changed up much going into this one. So LiT are a great example of a team that can really, persevere through everything. Dragoon, a player, I think, what was it, from spring to summer, he had promoted then as well. We were super hyped for him. Sadly, wasn't able to make it into summer, but then still makes it into this year. And so it's really exciting for me to see how he's going to do, especially stacking up against someone like Surdy, who I expect this top lane to be very spicy as we get ready for the draft.
I mean, it's a Dragoon matchup. It's always going to be spicy in the top side as he likes to pull out his picks, and we'll see what he's going to pull out today. It's not going to be that Darius. I will say, Surdy in the show match yesterday, he played the Darius, and I had great respect for how he played Darius in the show match. He played it like it was a Call of Duty map, where you just run out and you keep on moving forward until you die, and then you respawn, and then you do the same thing again in top lane. He ended up getting
Is
two
that
turrets.
Not how you play Darius?
I mean, honestly, Bad Magical, you can find a lot of success playing Darius like that, and a lot of people are solo queue gremlins in that pick, but not going to be in the hands of Dragoon, who actually dropped a game on it yesterday. He did a good job of snowballing early, but there was a recall stopped. LiT really lost the momentum in that game, but it was really fun watching just the mastery of Dragoon, knowing this champ, and calling jungle to help with the matchup. I think he did a really good job of snowballing his matchup forward. And FlyQuest are like, yeah, no, thank you. They're gonna kick off the game with the Varus.
Yeah, no Ashe, no Callista. They're kind of expected, and then actually seeing the Jhin picked up pretty early on here. We've also seeing a lot more priority on Jhin as Lucian kind of has dropped down the wayside. And then also the Maokai, which, yeah, and Kisno doesn't get his Kindred, which is a little sad to see. I like seeing Kisno play that Kindred, but going on to something like this Maokai does technically have flexibility. We have seen that in other lanes like support, top lane. If you look at the open qualifiers, we have seen some wild times there with the Maokai, but I'm expecting that's going to be for Kisno. And that having Rock Boom onto this Jhin, I really want to see what they're going to pair Plux with that Jhin with. Just because someone like Chime is this player that I've always really been excited about and how he plays the game. Because he's an exciting player. He's great on engages, and especially like if he, I doubt it's going to be Rakan, but on something like a Rakan is always fun to watch.
I think that's a good shout. I think Chime has kind of flown under the radar for having a really strong split. He is a unifying voice, someone that is kind of mentoring Sajed, given his experience in the bot side. And sometimes we take away the fact that those players are really talented individually, too. I think Chime's picked a lot of really strong engages, so it's been good to see. That being said, I got to shout out to Jhin, because I don't love Jhin. It is 3-0, though, in Rock Boom's hands, and he has been quite good on it. And I'd be very excited. Yes, we have a TF being played. Oh. I've been wanting to see more Twisted Fate. Everyone kind of universally is like, hey, he got changes that are really good for him. You can go both builds. You can do a hybrid build.
He was good before.
He was decent.
Slept on him. He was already good. They gave him more buffs, and now he's busted. Like, it is just one of those champions. Like you said, you go either build. And when I kept seeing little Blanco 80, I'm like, why are you doing that when Twisted Fate is still available and can do the same thing but better?
Yeah, I still really like the Roa Lichbane build. You can go for like a static Shiv. You can go for just straight up Kraken Slayer and DPS. A lot of options here for messages, especially with Maokai, who has flexibility with going tank or a wee bit of damage in the jungle too. I think damage Maokai is pretty much dead, but you never know. They are a team that like to be creative.
The only thing that would have made me think that maybe Messages was going to go more for the on-hit, the attack damage, Twisted Fate, is if Dragoon got that Mordekaiser, which got banned away. Another one of those signature Dragoon champions that I see banned. They're just like, no, we're not even dealing with the shenanigans that can come from that champ.
I love Matt Magically come in here like, everyone knows I love Challengers League, and you've obviously been keeping up with your homework, which I appreciate. It's good to have you back, buddy. Speaking of keeping up with homework, Quad on the way. This is a new champ that has really been emerging. Behind the scenes thing on this patch, live patch, Nico is still disabled due to a game-breaking bug. And I think in CQ, it was like when Hui was first out and able to be played, and we saw a lot of players kind of spamming Hui. And then everyone figured out, like, oh, if you just play fast into Hui, you can kind of beat it. And funnily enough, Messages was one of the best ways on that the CQ server, and he has already played it this split. I believe found a win. No, never mind. Oh, one of the pick.
No, I don't think it's one.
Either way, TF is something that you can use to play fast into the Hui and try and attack it on the map, because this is a pick. It's that artillery, mage in the mid lane, rather immobile, but Hui has a ton of damage, brings a lot of utility in the kit too. Who would have thought if you get 9 abilities?
Oh, come on, Chime. I've got the shirt on. You know what you know what you got to do. You know what you got to do.
Matt Magical.
Lock it in.
I don't know what happened with you during the break. I think that you might have joined a biker gang with that leather jacket in Hook City. Not really sure who you've been associating with, outside of this.
I just been
Piltover?
playing lots of... Oh, the Rakan. I would also like the Rakan. I'm okay with that, Chime. If you want to go Rakan or Blitzcrank, one of these two would be pretty cool for me, especially because you have things like that Vi. You have the Olaf as well. Having now that engage tool that you can utilize from Chime here. I really like this draft here from FlyQuest. I think that Marco has done a great job of really kind of playing to everyone's strengths on the map for FlyQuest. And that goes for almost every one of their games so far this split.
I'll be honest, this is kind of the dream Olaf scenario, especially because, Maokai, TF, Cassante, you feel great into, but also it's pretty low damage on Jhin as a marksman. And it's going to force a change. I think that this is somewhat worth it for LiT. First off, got a shout out as Viego. He is a very good Viego player. And did good work.
He's a Kindred player too, so it's like one of those kind of similar-ish style.
And funnily enough, he did really good work in CQ with Sajed. So before they put in duo queue restrictions, Sajed used to be a part of LiT, of course. He was on this squad. He was listed as a sub. He's very close with a lot of the LiT guys. I know that he was, giving him shout-outs. Him and Kizno were doing CQ, and they were doing really well before they put in the duo restrictions. As Kizno, one of the better junglers, really emerged from CQ as he put a lot of time into it and performed really well. So, kind of fun to see LiT on that side utilize that flex in the Maokai, and at least give a matchup in the top side that might have a chance of getting through this Olaf. I still think it's a really good setup for Olaf this game in Surdy. That pick really broke a lot of what LiT's draft was looking to do.
Right, and then you have the engage tools that we were already talking there with the Fi, with Rakan as well. I mean, sure, you have some mobile backlines there with Hui and with Varus, but who cares? You got Olaf. You're playing around Surdy Olaf here, and we've seen Surdy how many times pop off in Challengers League. When you look back at his career that he's had, whether that be with Evil Geniuses Academy / Challengers, then you look over to like the time with Team Liquid first, still being like the primary carry for the team. This is someone who has constantly been on everyone's radar as one of the premier top laners and how great he can play. So going up against someone like Dragoon, playing that Cassante into him, I'm excited to see how this first match of our best of 3 is going to do here between FlyQuest Challengers and LiT Esports.
I like the shout out towards Surdy because honestly, Surdy, I mean, this is a player that I have high expectations for. Coming into the split, Surdy for me was like a preseason candidate for a potential most valuable prospect award that we were giving out. And being honest, I don't think Surdy was at his best in the first couple of weeks. Again, this is a player I have high expectations for, but there are a couple all-ins that he was taking in the top lane where he almost had the kill, was kind of rolling the dice, like just missed it in like a 60-40 or a 50-50. But man, last week he put together a Cassante game against Wildcard where he had like 9 kills before the 20-minute mark. He was everywhere on the map. He solo carried that game, and I want to see more of that Surdy because that's a Surdy that I feel like, I was excited to see in LCS, and I'm still excited to see compete in Challengers at the highest level he can.
Sure. We saw a little bit of poke there, as there was a kind of a cheeky there from FlyQuest. Get the ward onto the blue buff, and even getting a nice ward placed down. I believe Aiden was able to get that right out. Yeah, full knowledge. Playing. And it's going to make it really difficult for Cassante to kind of play early into this matchup. And you look across the map, right? You already talked about the Olaf against Cassante, where Olaf is just... It's hard to kind of contend against an Olaf top lane, especially for the first few levels. Bot lane, I don't see a Jhin, Maokai getting priority against Varus for Khan. They're doing a pretty good job at the moment, but I just feel like most lanes are not going to have that priority here for LiT that will kind of help out Kizno, except for maybe the mid lane.
I think it's a good shout, and I know we haven't seen a ton of Twisted Fate yet in this league, so I do want to talk about it briefly, as Surdy takes a really nice trade.
Yeah, that's expected, right?
Yeah. So, TF, regardless of the build here for messages... Oh, hold on.
Pop in the Ghost. Gold card comes out. Does get the root. A lot of damage. Got to be careful. That is Doran's blade there on Twisted Fate. The flash, though!
Oh,
Turret hitting first blood for Quad!
Oh, man. I mean, messages, we're going to get the flash for free. Flashing under the tower range. Man, I think messages have been having a tough split here and there. And that's another situation where, that lane was going so well against Quad. Like, he was able to dodge out on the initial skill shot. He was stepping up. Things were looking good. And then, man, just throwing away the lead like that really hurts. He took Ghost and Flash, so no TP. He's got to take the walk of shame back to lane. Quad was able to TP back, and that Hui's ahead. And, man, we've seen some Hui's do serious damage from ahead, Mad Magical.
Exactly, and you talked about how Hui kind of takes some time to really come online, takes a little bit of time to get ahead. Well, not when you're gifted first blood like that in the solo bolo. Messages definitely going to have to find some way to kind of remove that advantage there that Quad has now gotten for himself in this mid lane. And I think a lot of it's going to be around how they can play around Kizno and get this Viego kind of online, because the Twisted Fate now I feel like is going to be more utility.
Yeah, and I was going to talk about, like with TF, the Fleet and D-Blade start, it does make for a decently strong lane phase. And I like seeing messages spec that. Like, you have the power to trade really hard, especially with that auto attack reset they gave when you lock in your card on the W. It's really nice in quite a few matchups. But now, he's down both sums. Quad, he's the way. He's got a ton of CC that he can elect to use against TF. And look at Shaden. He's looking for either the Raptor respawn or a gank mid, and he's going to find both. He is already set up to deny Kizdo this respawn camp. Really well done by FlyQuest Challengers. They know that they have a winning mid matchup with no sums, and Shaden assumes that Kizno started this. They had the info from level 1, as you shouted out, Mad Magical, and he's going to get in there and punish.
Ooh, almost stolen though. Kisto barely not able to get in range, so Shaden actually getting good trade back onto Kisto, kind of punishing the jungle now, and I'm kind of worried for LiT at this point. It's a composition where none of their lanes are really going to get that advantage to really kind of push back. You see that every time that Dragoon tries to clear out, he's getting chunked out by Surdy. The only good thing is that because Kisto has a little bit of liberty now, he can go towards the top side, but we got to look at the bot lane for just a touch. I think it's just more, all these lanes are going to look to kind of skirmish early on, and for Shaden, he's got like, all right, cool, I don't really have to do much for like the next 2 levels.
Chilling. I mean, honestly, the place we have to look is mid, because Messages just got forced back. He's kind of low. He just canceled that recall. Yeah, you can see how low he is. He's down a level. That solo kill for Quad was so big. Now down 2 levels.
Oof.
Oh, man.
Yeah. I mean, Quad's also level 6, so he's got the Spiraling Despair if he needs to. He could just throw that out. Look, top lane 2, Dragoon, taken so low where Surdy can always just put that threat on to this Cassandra and constantly chuck out those axes and keep him really low.
Yeah, lane's going really well here for FlyQuest Challengers. See if it turns into any neutral objectives. We're past the 5-minute mark. Grubs and Dragon are up at Magical, and it looks like Kisno's at least on the bot side.
Yeah, but he spotted out, and Shaden's there too. So
they're gonna take it
for the engage there. Chime gets the knockup onto Flux with the Ignite ticking. Has to flash away the flash in. Hail of Arrow not enough to get the damage on Flux. So instead, LiT barely surviving another arrow thrown out by Sashed, but unfortunately not connecting onto the tree.
I've seen so many Varuses in this league, like, find kills around level 3, 4. I think Kisno looking here, it's rather ambitious in this lane, as Varus is just so strong around those levels, especially with no base yet. Nearly still had the damage to get through someone, as we have trade.
Oh, Kisno wanted to secure the Gromp the best he could.
He did.
Didn't have Smite up, though, so it was going to be really difficult. Or did he actually
yeah, he got it.
Did he get it?
Yeah, he used the
Oh, no,
Charger Smite.
yeah, you're right.
So that's all right, but he will lose the crab off this now. That's just lying in wait. See if he can find something.
Kisno's on 50%. Little low. Got to be careful there. The engage flashed away by Kisno. So with the flash now burned off Kisno at 50%, gold card thrown out on the Shaden. It's still pretty healthy on Vi. It won't be the dragon taken, but LiT barely scrapping over control of the river.
Kisno and Messages, they pick the different targets there. Like that's a gold card, and Diego Stone, they're not on the same page. And look at mid. Messages, he got the choice of counter with this TF. Like he going this build, he's going for more attack speed. He can't approach the wave against Tway. It's not like AP where you can farm with the cards. He's down immensely. I mean, his CS is doubled right now before he's able to pick up this wave. Quad's even able to go in and sneak in a small Raptors. He spotted it. Quad's been a beast this split. I think Quad has been arguably the best individual performer that we've had in Challengers League, but man, this is too much for Messages and that to deal with, and it's really breaking the map for them. As Shaden's going to have everything at his disposal. His TF can't even answer. Like, if he answers, Huey's going to one-tap him if Quad's hovering the right side. It's going to be really tough for that to find those numbers plays they're looking for with the TF.
And it's so unfortunate there for Messages, because a lot of that's on his own head there for the flash that took the tower shot. Now, Kisno's the one who suffers because of it. Taking all that damage, trying to go for the Heartbreaker away, just cannot escape from Shaden.
Shaden, he laid the trap, and Quad, he sprang it with, level 6, yoinked off the red buff. Shaden, he's going to reset. He's going to take his bot camps, and things just continue to go from bad to worse here for LiT.
And I want to get your vibe, but hold on to that, because Surdy actually popping the Ragnarok, get the shield there, throwing the axe, all out from Dragoon. Dragoon so low, the flash away, waiting for the axe, does not connect. Both of them want that scrap, they want the fight, but it looks like neither will fall.
That was well done from Dragoon. I think the big thing in this matchup is that when Olaf pops the Ragnarok, and most importantly the W, you got to run away. You can't give him the autos to continue that Ragnarok and continue stacking Conquer. I think Dragoon managed that decently well. Now, Olaf, he has more sustain in that, and he's able to push that wave in. Also, Kisno somewhat spotted out here on the bot side, so Surdy knows that he's safe. But Dragoon at least trying to make some plays get back in. I do think Dragoon's had been having a nice split. He's got his unique picks, which are fun to watch, but I think that he plays them pretty well. And he deserves the bans like the Mordekaiser and the Darius at this point, as now Surdy ult this.
Destiny Gate opened up, looking for the top lane play, with no Ragnarok there from Surdy. He tries to fight back, but it's a kill for Messages. giving enough time for Shaden to take the dragon, but good play there on the map for Messages.
All right, that's the numbers advantage that they were looking for, as Messages is able to go interact with that top side. Messages, very important he's a part of that kill. I think it's really tough for him to be in mid at the moment, given how strong Hwei is in the build that Messages is electing to go as FLYC gets ulted.
Data corruptions on FLYC, and an easy kill. Okay.
Yeah, the strength of Varus early on is really big, and I gotta say, like, support Maokai, it's not an S tier pick.
No.
I know that, like, the win rate's high, and I think that Maokai brings a lot later on, but early, Maokai's pretty weak compared to a lot of supports. Shaden.
Well, hold on, because right now, Chime and Shaden were pretty low there. Sajed even thinking a little bit of trade because the curtain call that had been used by Rockroom. I got a little worried for half a second for FlyQuest.
Yeah, I mean, once you use that Aftershock on Maokai, you are very squishy in the support position. You got to be careful. And, like, a lot of your durability does come from your passive, which takes a lot of levels to actually get going now for Maokai, as the nerfs were kind of directed at Maokai's support. And he's much better in the melee matchups, as the Q is a little bit buffed, but ranged matchups get a little bit harder. Messages, he's going to miss the cannon, wishes that he had a little bit more AP to get that one with the cards. Not the case.
Yeah, I mean, it sucks for Messages too, because like you can't really step up too much, and it's forcing FLYC to go for this play with the flash a little bit out of range, but he was able to at least get on top. Quad, who gets pulled back in, and Messages will secure the kill in the end of the day.
That is a nice play coming out from LiT as hold on,
Chime. Gotta be careful, because that is a Viego, but the body block there from Shaden, keeping Kisto underneath the turret so they can get the kill. 1-for-1 trade for Fly.
Well played, Shaden, as he is in the right place at the right time. Throws the Fist of Fury at Kiston to take him down. I will say for LiT, that was a nice setup on Hwei. They need the set Quad behind. Quad can TB back. He's not going to lose a ton, but that was off the death timer from FLYC, just sending 3 mid. I like that play from LiT. They need stuff like this at this point, but still. You can see, like, the end game, Messages is still the one being forced off because Kisno went down, and that gank, Shaden was there to turn.
And as you said, you know, FLYC's death timer comes back up, just go straight mid. It's a good play, and even though Messages didn't get quite in range for the gold card initially, it was a good idea there for LiT. They get the skill, but the problem was afterwards, right? They just didn't give the respect, not only to Chime, but to Shaden to be in the right place at the right time.
Oh, man, Kisno, he tried. He had the double ult.
So close.
Picked up the Maokai and still had the ult being grabbed. He's going to try and punish now. Really nice buffer by Quad to get the fear off.
Was really good damage too on a Kisno. Look at how low he took him out. Yeah, if he had the Spiraling Despair, probably could have thrown that out to actually get a trade in a 2v1.
You know, thanks to the show match yesterday, I actually know Hwei's ultimate name now. It is indeed Spiraling Despair.
That one's the only one I actually remember the name of. I just have the nicknames for everything else. And, it's going to be the ult from Maokai thrown out. Sajed, far away from home, has cleanse, does use it. Chain of Corruptions onto the tree, keeping him rooted as he tries to root back towards the minions, flashing away from the grand entrance.
And that's the issue with Maokai, right? Once your Aftershock is gone, you're very squishy. And you can see that, like, despite it being a 2v1, Sajed, he cleanses. He is able to trade back on Maokai, and FLYC has to burn Flash in the end.
Ooh, twisted advance on Chime with the root, but Kisto doesn't actually want to enter. It's the quickness now pulling him back in. The 2v3 FlyQuest Challengers are the ones that come out with the advantage. Well, top lane, already popping the Ragnarok all out from Dragoon, was not able to pull back in Olaf, but like you said, fighting it back, trying to stay away, not give him those stacks back, but he's got to be careful the shield coming in for the W. As he waits it out, the Ghost though, Surdy, he'll run way out of there and not get tagged again with the pull back in.
Still decently well played by Dragoon, able to buy some space and buy some time against Surdy, who will head for the hills. So I think Dragoon managing this matchup well, but the rest of the map for LiT, kind of a disaster. As you can see, the interaction from Rakan and Maokai. Of course, Maokai, that twisted advance does follow you through flashes and also through dashes. So Rakan able to guarantee not only that the grand entrance connects as he exits the Maokai engage, but pulls him towards Sajed. And again, Varus' damage at this point of the game very high. So no Aftershock on Maokai, and FLYC just melts.
Yeah, it's unfortunate there for FLYC and for LiT, because Kisno, they kind of thought maybe they had that play. They could have turned it around onto either Chime or Sajed, since Sajed had used that cleanse earlier, as you talked about, but he hadn't used the Flash. And Flash was still up there for Chime too, so a lot of that was kind of hopeful thinking for LiT, that maybe they can find that play.
they still have those flashes available to them, man.
Yeah. That's
get aggressive.
It's like those haven't been used. It's just the fact that those are still up. It was wishful thinking there from LiT. They could make that play work out, as now Jisto has been spotted out and tagged in, pulled back in. The Vision of the Empire from way as Quad not able to get in range just yet. With how low they've gotten Jisto, they throw out the Nature's Grasp to try to get something back on Fly. Pop the quickness dodged away by Flux as he pulls back in, getting a lot of damage with the Spiraling Despair on the Rock Boom.
Oh.
The first almost takes both of them down on the other side, but LiT barely lifting away, or can they even escape? Having to use Twisted Advance, but the blue buff ends up going against them.
I mean, the Hui damage, that Spiraling Despair almost made Kisno feel the despair from Rock Boom as he ended up catching the damage on that. And, I mean, this game, at the moment, it's still too easy for FlyQuest Challengers, man. They are cruising in this one. It feels like Dragoon, again, was the only one that, like, really was able to survive this lane. I don't think that LiT took the necessarily the strongest lanes of all time, but FlyQuest Challengers have just punished them left, right, and center. And this is the issue I saw yesterday with LiT, too. LiT's game, too. They kind of got blown out of the water by AoE in the laning phase.
Yeah.
And LiT's a team, they can play together, but...
Good flash there from Quad, dodge away from the fourth shot of the curtain call, but there's still a lot of damage. Does get tagged by the wild cards on the other side. The flash coming in, but Time now is going to be the one they aggress onto. He cannot escape. 2 kills for LiT, even if it's the Trade of Dragon.
I was going to say that LiT, they are a team that they do play together well. They play off each other well. That's a nice rotation to punish FlyQuest Challengers staying a little bit too long after the Dragon was secured by them. So they're going to find Quad and Chime. Quad's a decent, I believe, a small shutdown going over. As Quad, he was staying to try and take this mid-outer. So Rock Boom just opens up, messages ports on in, they take down Quad.
But the thing is, dude, it's unfortunate for Quad because he dodges away from so much. It's just that last throw of the Q there from messages that gets the kill onto him. And I almost wonder if like he survives there. The cooldowns come back up, they can maybe turn it around. And that's why Chime was there, but didn't work out. Go LiT, we're able to at least utilize that to get the Void Grubs, but now the TPs are coming in. Wei will be here. They've got a lot of damage onto Kisto as he tries to avoid one of the arrows, but the hail of arrows slowing him down. The pull back in with a claw for Quad.
Quad finds the kill. Now Maokai, Pluck's being engaged upon as Chime can continue to chase.
Yeah, but Pluck uses Twisted Advance just on the minions. You know what I was expecting.
Good thing is, right now, Messages, he's on the bot side, autoing down this turret. He's gotten through half. I will also say that another concern I have for LiT in this draft, they're all AD. I wasn't going to speak on that because, of course, Twisted Fate, the AD build is strong, but he does have options. I still think Roa Lichbane's doable. It's all AD now. So FlyQuest Challengers, they're ahead. They can just spec armor.
That's Dragoon.
Going to make it so that LiT, with Messages, really have to open up this map through the side lane.
Got a little worried there for Dragoon for half a second, but then I realized he had both All Out and Ghost up.
Yeah.
And so, I don't know how I feel about going for the AD Twisted Fate in this game in particular, just because, as you said, if you just spec into any armor, what are you going to really do as LiT? I mean, granted, you see that Shaden's gone for the Sundered Sky. Stride Breaker is the first item for Surdy, so...
Yeah, I mean, he's going like Frozen Heart second.
Yeah, well, which is expected, but it gives a little bit of a window for LiT for like some time to maybe find a mid-game fight that can get them enough of a lead.
I mean, I don't think it's that expected coming out from the Vi. Usually Vi likes to go double damage, but Shaden's looking at the comps like, you know what?
With triple AD, come on!
Yeah, he's like, if I send a Frozen Heart into the backline, that's going to make life a lot harder for LiT. So, again, I think it's a lot more important now that LiT are able to open up this map through the sides. I will say that Messages, he is behind on this TF, but he's at least even in levels, and at this point of the game, he has access to enough items where I don't think it's that big of a deal. He does have 3 kills. I think that Messages can at least function in the side lane. You can see right now, they're the lane that he's LiT's trying to play through.
Right now, Quad.
Trap trying to be laid.
As the shield there, from the spell shield, but that ain't gonna help you much against the AD Twisted Fate, especially because Kisno has snuck his way in here. Will be spotted out. That's gonna be the Destiny Gate opened up. Gold card buffered. That's the combo you want. Spiraling Despair will get a lot of damage onto both of them, but they had way more to throw right back. Quad for a Rampage. Even getting Nature's Grasp on the other side, getting the root onto Chime as he was able to barely escape with Shaden off on the other side.
I actually love that Messages. He popped the ultimate to remove the Verdant Barrier shield. As you get the old Banshee shield now when he finished Verdant, so that's what enabled Kisno to find the stun, the gold card follow-up, so they could get the kill onto Quad, who, again, bad in the way. You can't attack the way. Now Shaden and Chime looking to attack the Maokai, but no avail. Herald crashes, and that's a turret falling for LiT.
Get themselves some gold, but here's going to be the TP in. Fly, you did not want this play, even if you have Zerdy on the other side. Maybe you do. Looking for Kirk Calls opened up. Chime, he's going to be the one they aggress on. Well, Kisto getting chased down and killed off by Shaden. Looking for the Kirk Call, did not connect onto Shaden. And Sajed still has to deal with the shutdown that came in from Dragoon. Bot lane is gone for FlyQuest.
2 for 1 still for LiT. That's a nice play rotation. Chime bought a lot of time, but not enough. Rock Boom took him down on the top side. Kisto was at least able to trade out.
Yeah, so Kisto trading up. Honestly, I think trading up because it is the 2 for 1. They get the turret as well. Yeah. That's a huge swing of gold
it is.
now for LiT. That went from almost 4,000 that FlyQuest had over LiT to about 1,500.
And I like what LiT's doing. Again, I said coming into this that I thought Messages was one of the better ways that we had in CQ. I think that this game plan of attacking the way, it's been working. They're using the TF and the Viego to really pressure this pick that is vulnerable. If you are able to get on it, they're attacking it in the side, but this is where Hui is really strong, and that's grouping up and putting down the poke, having the wave clear, having the control. And yeah, Chime, he is not spotted.
No, not at all. Sajed will be with the team. They have no idea. Now they'll spot him. Quickness pop, getting the cleanse out of Rock Boom. But they've got the tree on the other side to try to disengage for now. Pulling back in is going to be Ragnarok Pop with the Chain of Corruption getting a lot of damage. And then Plus getting the attention. The kill first off for FlyQuest. They've taken down their own tree. They're looking for Dragoon. And Chime wanted to get into the back line, but they re-engage with Kisto. Not finding the kill. And Chime getting the flashes away to pull back in. Locking in Rock Boom. But he has to trade his own life. 2 for 1. FlyQuest still have the man advantage. The way pulling back in Messages. Nearly taking him down. Will get the shutdown forward. FlyQuest Challengers challenging LiT at the Dragon to get themselves within the point, and then the double kill for Quad.
Oh, I think LiT overstayed a bit in the back half, but honestly, LiT played this fight out okay. It was a really fun watching each of these teams dance in and out. We're going to take a second look. Messages, he throws the first gold card onto the Olaf. He CCs it. Dragoon eats everything and Plux falls. He gets chopped down. But then on the back half, Shaden goes in, like he takes a really nice chunk, and I like how LiT Messages are playing this. They're just playing around their cooldown windows. They have to flash out because Chime took the angle, but Shaden sacks himself. And here, I thought the LiT might be able to turn it around, but Quad, he connects, he buffers through the gold card, finds the combo, finds the shutdown onto Messages, who somehow had one. And then Dragoon, a little bit of desperation play from him. He eats the fear, and Quad showing that he can step up and have a lot of control in these fights. If he is allowed to function through these fights, that weren't able to take him down this time around.
As you said, too, it's the function of Wei. It's at the team fights, in the choke scenarios where everyone's grouped up. That is when Wei really feels the most impactful, and we got to see that from Quad there. Picking up the 2 kills, 3rd Dragon for FlyQuest Challengers. Now, LiT, it looked good for a second. Looked like they could have come back in, but now look at this. Frozen Heart's been completed for Shaden. We talk about that being a problem, and honestly, now I'm wondering how LiT can even kill Shaden, let alone the rest of the team.
I don't know if LiT, I think LiT made some nice plays in the mid game to try and get themselves back in the game a bit, but I think this game is really hard for LiT, no matter what. I think I like their approach right now of continuing to try and use this TF to attack the side lane. I think that's really the one chance they have, because in the 5v5, you're not going to match what FlyQuest has with how far ahead Quad is. They have really easy execution to take down specific members with, you got Vi plus Hui plus Varus plus Rakan. That's really easy to set up a Spiraling Despair.
What is Messages looking for here?
He was hoping that Olaf overextended. He had the red buff, so maybe he can run him down. He is somewhat built to deal with Olaf.
Was it that, or was it Sajed? Because Sajed was on the rafters, so I kind of thought maybe he was going to open up the Destiny Gate and try to look for a play there.
I don't know if he was spotted or not. Regardless, he was able to sneak out of those, and Messages is going to continue to be on the sideline, try and delay this Olaf. We'll say Surdy does have that Stride Breaker, which saw some pretty significant changes on this patch. Definitely got a little bit more viable for everyone. As Rock Boom.
Jaden Chime looking for Rock Boom, tagging him, locking him in place. Nowhere to go but go Boom himself. And with the Destiny Gate open, FlyQuest, no, he's not there. Instead, it's going to be Message going to the bot lane, which leaves Kisno and Plux out on their own. Good buffer there from Plux, but the slows down from here from Hui. Keep LiT at bay, and it will be them now turning to the Baron because Messages cannot be a part of this fight.
Yeah, he did at least burn the ult. He didn't choose to port. If he ported, he ported back. Surdy is staying mid, so this is a trade. LiT are hard committing for this turret in the bottom left of your screen, and Messages, he will nuke this turret.
And look at Kisno. He wants to get in. Dragoon getting a lot of vision for the team. They engage, looking for Dragoon while the turret does fall in the bot lane. They peel back off of the Baron, trying to get the damage. The all-out comes in from Dragoon, just delaying the inevitable, so that way they can get more on the other side, which gives up his own life.
I mean, honestly, that's not at all bad for LiT. I think that LiT, like, a couple things have gone okay for them this game. First off, rolling Ocean Soul, I don't think that really impacts LiT and how they're going to play out this comp. That's like, the best role they could have. Ocean Soul is pretty weak this game. And then, I think Messages sticking bot and saying, hey, I'm going to commit, get some more gold on my shoulders. I know that I have to be the one that cracks open this map through side lanes. I mean, LiT, they've at least steadied the gold deficit. They aren't going to roll a terrible soul. I think that a couple things have gone okay for them this game. Yeah,
and that is something I'm kind of glad you talked about, how fast an AD Twisted Fate can take those turrets, right? Yeah. Because that is something that we didn't really talk about, is there is that 1-3-1 setup that LiT has. With only the 1 TP for FlyQuest, only Quad can really answer that efficiently. If Surdy's really spotted out in the bot lane, you can easily see LiT making the call to all 5 onto Baron. You can see maybe look for a play if someone gets caught out overextended from FlyQuest.
No, I think that's a good shout out, Matt Magical. And that's the thing, too, is that you don't want Quad in the side lane. You want Quad right here. Look at how much work he's already gotten done with just poking down LiT. Flux is already at half. This Baron setup is too easy when you have a way that is this far ahead, able to push back the members of LiT.
But the problem still is that they have, like you said, Quad has to be with the team, which means Surdy has to be in the side lane. But if Surdy's in the side lane, he can't join up with the rest of the team. And look at this, LiT are kind of keeping them on the bottom quadrant of the map, because if they actually try to turn for that dragon for the soul, LiT might just go for the Baron.
Jaden trying to find Dragoon, maybe. Surdy eats a blue card. It does pretty good damage from Messages, surprisingly enough. 5 seconds until the dragon. No moves.
LiT chasing a bit far. They've seen Shaden on the other side. Gold card to tag him. While Kisto chases down with Pluck, but he got pulled back in. The tree got baited. Then Kisto, yes, he tried to chase down as well. Got a lot of damage on himself. This can open up again. The cleanse out of Sashad. The re-engage from Shaden on to Dragoon, but he gets himself out of there. For LiT. No support to say they could at least look to deny the soul easily taken from FlyQuest. With the curtain call opened up, the re-engage on to Kisto. There he goes. He's out of there. With Messages still waiting, but it's going to be Dragoon giving a double kill to Sajed. All the while, Surdy is wailing away at the dragon. Messages instead trying to send a message, getting himself a turret a little bit back for the team, but they're losing so much in the process.
Messages has flash. He's going to be chased.
Judge goes for the fight, flashing in, looking for Quad, keeping a lot of damage on him, almost in a 1v3.
I think one more auto, or if he got a fast auto attack reset off from the card, maybe he gets Quad. Not the case, though. Quad survives. Now 30.
Wow, look at the damage that he got on the rock boom, flashing forward as well, making it look stylish there. And where it looked like LiT might have had a fire that they had for themselves, the flame has been extinguished, and FlyQuest will claim Baron.
FlyQuest really wants to stay undefeated going into Maryville. I mean, there you can see Olaf. He was chilling in this draft for sure. Surdy kind of chilling in that fight. Took the 1v2 A-OK, no problems. And FlyQuest Challengers now with Baron secured. They'll be able to at least match the split push of TF. I think Olaf at this point of the game, he got a lot more items from that. So if he's able to get on TF at all, who has no summoners, I think this is a very good scenario for FlyQuest Challengers. And overall, I mean, this game, I got to give a shout out to Chime. I feel like Chime's been we talked about he's kind of been flying under the radar. Like, yes, Quad, he got the big lead on his own, but I think some of the engages and moments that Chime has picked in this one have been really sound, and again, made this comp that is pretty easy to execute for FlyQuest Challengers all the more easier because Chime has found such good engages. I think there was another one there. He went in a little bit early, but the back half of the fight and the scoreboard and the impact stat in the game has been very sound from Chime.
And that's why I gave the call out to Chime on Recon especially. This is one of those champions that I've loved to watch him play during his time on TSM in the LCS, and even beforehand when he was playing at Academy. This is just a champion that he feels like he's got not just the hands, but he's got the heads-up play, and even if he goes for a bit of an early engage, as he called out, you can still kind of reel it back in and be like, okay, I made a mistake, let's get it back, reset.
I mean, that one, he just took Flux for free, so that was pretty nice. So, regardless, Messages, he's got to continue to try and split. Quad is the one answering this time around, which Olaf
I think it works better this time, honestly, because they already had the Baron. It's not like they really have to worry about the fight too much here from LiT.
Well, Olaf wouldn't be able to join the fight, as you highlighted, so I think Quaid is mashing wave clear. He's doing all right.
Yeah.
And now, honestly, we'll just see if this goes to Elder.
Think you will?
I think so. I think there's too much base that FlyQuest Challengers have to get through, and they can at least stall. I mean, I think Elder's pretty doomed for them because you have to set up against, you know, Away, and that's tough. And then look at all the armor items that are coming in. Also, look at Sajed's inventory. I'm just going to say that Randuin's Omen coming in next. I think that is super based. Looking at the comp that LiT has.
I mean, have you not? What was it last year? The Verdant Radiant Virtue Vars build that we just saw towards the end of the year.
I mean, it's Zamudo is still, I think, willing to play it. You know, we've seen some Varus top be played elsewhere, like in EU. So.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, it's like, he's one of those champions that can kind of do that, where it's like, yeah, you know, I got the 3 damage items. I can go for a tank item. Now you can't kill me. The rest of the team toppling these structures as Flux getting a little bit of damage. Same with Dragoon there as he's able to skirt damage just a little bit. But the fact that you see 4 members here mid lane, that's just still trying to push. The Baron's still on the heads of FlyQuest. They can now open up another lane.
Gonna take both side lane inhibitors. Rather nice, especially for the setup coming in. It's now Dragoon.
He's pretty tanky though. It takes a long time to actually kill him. Chain of Corruption does land. Tagging on a Flux, and he ain't so tanky. Taking a lot of that damage. Forced to get the shield there from the Locket. Barely will he limp back to the fountain to survive, while the rest of FlyQuest now knocking on the door. Maybe they don't want to wait for that Elder. Instead, they want the game because they got minions on the other side, and they got the play here on it to the mid laner, taking out messages. No longer having to worry about the split push nor the gates being open because they are the ones opening the gates here against LiT, waiting for the minions to start crashing into these turrets.
I think they're chilling with Ocean Soul. We're not going to see an Elder today. We're going to see a FlyQuest 1-0 shortly. Well played game from them. As Dragoon.
Dragoon at least trying to keep him at bay. 4v5. Kisno was on the other side. Curtain call open wide, getting a little bit of damage, but Quad denying that from getting enough damage with the all-out coming in and getting a lot. As no, they cannot get it. Kisno is out of there. Double kill for Shed. The fear onto Dragoon. Want to give him more kills and funnel everybody's gold there. FlyQuest Challengers will take the game here. Get the flash from Rockboom, doing nothing to deny. The ace cleanly swept there from FlyQuest Challengers.
Nice game from them. I think that really from start to finish, the laning for FlyQuest Challengers was sound. We saw Shading get up on Kisno. We saw LiT get really put on the back foot early in these games. And I know that LiT, like, I feel like the real strength of this team is that when they do group, I think they have some decent map reads, and they're able to play as a 5-stack rather nicely. They've been playing together for a while, and they play off each other okay. But there have been a couple games now this week where the laning phase has gone, like, just been really rough for the team. Yeah. And if they were behind, you know, 2K gold 10 minutes in, it's really tough to play out games, especially when you're going up against one of, if not the best team that we have in Challengers right now in FlyQuest Challengers. So LiT on the back foot early, made some decent plans to try and get back in, but I don't think they ever really had a real shot to win that game. And I want to see LiT be a little bit stronger in the laning phase moving forward.
I think had maybe Messages gotten the 1v1 kill in mid lane, maybe things could have been different. Was a little close there, but FlyQuest Challengers do get the game at the end of the day for here in this best of 3. It is Fearless Draft, so maybe some things can change going into game 2, but we're going to toss to a break. We'll be right back for more action.
They said it couldn't be done. They said the world would never accept a cookie this long. Or a churro, and probably not a pretzel either. They also said, under no circumstances should those really long and delicious treats be wildly affordable. To which we said, but we already made them. And they are. Introducing the incredible new foot-long sidekicks. Get one at Subway today.
Before this guy won this, he actually won this. And now these guys, they're trying to do the same.
He's looking for the killer instinct. He's going in. He finds 2. He finds 3.
Masu, you are utterly ridiculous. This guy is also trying to do what that guy did. And he didn't win one of those, but he did win this.
Welcome to the new era. A toast to our champions, Disguise.
This guy played one split of LCS and then made semis at Worlds.
It's been a long journey, but I'm happy to be here now.
He's always been really good, but he finally made the comeback. Oh, and he did it with this guy. This guy won Academy, and he had some dreams.
I want to be like the best NA mid laner to go to Worlds, right?
Dokla, however, very, very low. Reinforced by the Zen ultimate, and the Pop Blossom is so awesome!
This kid? Yeah, this kid. He actually didn't win an academy, but a lot of people thought he was good, and boy, were they right. This guy made Worlds his very first year as a player. It took him a while to get back. He even played with this kid. But then, they did all of this together.
Nobody thought they'd win LCS! Nobody thought they'd beat G2! It's time to change your mind!
You know all of these names, but do you know the names of who's next? The future of the LCS starts right after the LCS. Welcome to Challengers League.
Get up on your feet, this is a shakedown.